Hello everyone, welcome to Python tutorials by NGC. So as this is our first tutorial, we'll just go through the fundamentals. Let's just have a look at the contents. We will start with what Python actually is and then its applications. We will also look at the installation and then we will learn about indentation, comments, keywords, variables and a basic intro to data types. So what is Python? It's a computer programming language often used to build websites and software. You know, the name Python comes from Monty Python. Guido van Rossum was creating Python. He was also reading the scripts from BBC's Monty Python's Flying Circus. He thought the name Python was appropriately short and slightly mysterious. So it's a programming language. If you notice, we call it an interpreted programming language. So what is an interpreted programming language here? In other programming languages like Java, C and C++, we first compile the code and then run it. But in Python, we run it in a single step. So we call it an interpreted programming language. And Python supports object-oriented programming as well. And it also provides lots of high-level data structures. Python has a wide range of applications. It's used in data science, data mining, desktop applications, console-based applications, mobile applications, and as we are very familiar with, it's also used in software development and artificial intelligence. So to run any Python program, we need to install Python ideally. To do so, go to the website shown and download the latest version. Do not forget to check all the checkboxes that appear during the process of installation. So in order to check if it's installed, go to the search bar and search for ideally. Open it and go for the new file. We write the code in the new file. So let's just test it. Let's give a print statement. Now save the file. And then we run the file. See, the print statement is being printed in the shell. Let's check it once again by running it again. So if you don't want to work with the files and run in the PowerShell, we can also use IDEs. Although we run in IDEs like PyCharm, we need to install Python from python.org before. You can also use online compilers like Google Colab, which are user-friendly for beginners. These are few of the IDEs which are popularly used by many programmers. Moving on to indentation, it's undoubtedly one of the important things to remember in Python. Indentation actually refers to the spaces at the beginning of a code line. In other programming languages, indentation is just used to enhance readability, but in Python, it's used to separate a block of code. Let's consider an example to understand it better. If we consider the code to the right, we have an if block here and we have a print statement here with no indentation. And if we consider the code towards the left, we have a if block here with the print statement in it. But if we observe, there is a space before the print statement. This space is referred to as indentation. So in the first example, where we have a space before the print statement, the block is executed without any error and the print statement is being printed. But when we consider the right side example, we have a print statement inside the if block with no indentation. So it doesn't indicate the block, and so there is an indentation error here. And one of the things to remember is there's no restriction on the number of spaces you use as a part of indentation. See, in the example given, in the first if block, we have the print statement with a single space before. But whereas in the second if block, we have the print statement with three spaces before. So although the number of spaces is not fixed here, and we follow two different spaces in two different if blocks, it's accepted. So the output is the two print statements given. As said, there's no restriction on the number of spaces for indentation, but for the same block of code, we must maintain the same number of spaces. In the example given below, we have a single if block here and we have two print statements in it. In the first print statement, for the first print statement, the space is given singly, but for the second print statement, we have given three spaces before. So this will give us syntactical error. In the same block of code, we have to maintain the same number of indentation spaces. So this is all about indentation. Moving on to the comments in Python, the major use of comments is to explain the Python code. Comments are not executed. Interpreter ignores the commented lines. We have two kinds of comments, namely single line and multi-line. Single line comments start with a hash. So in the example given below, we have a comment here in the first line, which is this is a comment, and we start the comment with the hash symbol. So this line of code is not executed, and so the output is only hello world here. And moving on to the multi-line comments. For multi-line comments, we can place hash at the beginning of the multiple lines. So we really don't have any particular syntax for multi-line comments, but multi-line comments can be achieved through two different ways. One of the ways is to just place the hash before each line. So these three lines would not be executed and the output is just hello world here. And so we use a multi-line string unassigned to a variable as a multi-line comment. So here in the example, we have a multi-line string, which means the text placed inside triple quotes and which is unassigned to a variable here. This can be considered as a multi-line comment. So the interpreter ignores the three lines which are placed inside the triple quotes and only the print statement would be executed. Moving on to keywords. Python has a set of keywords that are reserved words, and these keywords cannot be used in naming variables, functions, or any other identifiers. These are the keywords along with their description. We will look about each keyword in detail in further tutorials. Let's just have a look at all the keywords.